Welcome. Good evening. Welcome to Bad Art with Mermanda. I think I'm gonna go with that. And I think eventually I'm never going to get this camera angle correct. Unless that is correct. I don't know. Whatever. We'll figure it out. So this is another session of Bad Art. This is day 2, so far I'm doing pretty well with consistency. Good for me. Yay. I'm gonna start out with sharpening my pencil. I love this pencil sharpener. I feel like I've said that a million times. I feel like I say it and I think it every time I use it. For those curious, it is M+R, M+R, made in Germany. Anyway, so this was I worked on this a little bit more. This was yesterday's Bad Art doodle. I just worked on a little bit of shading. Of course, if you are doing this along with me, you don't have to continue working on it. You're not, you don't have to do anything, but I find that these are so fun that I want to keep doing them. Like I want to keep rendering them even after I finish the video. I honestly still might because this is looking pretty cool. I really like this section right here. I don't know. It's just it's so fun what you can do when you just get out of your own head. It's just fun. And who cares about anything else really, because it's just fun. What else are you gonna do? So I'm gonna flip this over. We'll start on a new page here. So you'll flip that around. All right. Okay, so ever since I've started drawing, I love drawing eyeballs. And if I don't know what to draw, I tend to start with an eyeball. And I used to be fairly good at drawing an actual eyeball. But I'm gonna be honest, good art is so boring to me. I mean, it's great. I love a good skilled artist. I really do. But I don't think that there's enough bad art in the world. I don't think that there's enough recognition for those who are just being creative and free and expressing themselves. So let's do that. How are we going to do that? I'm going to do that by going absolutely crazy with some eyelashes. You know, we need some skilled weirdos. We love a good skilled weirdo, like David Bowie, Salvador Dali. Soon, Mermanda is going to be on that list. That's me, by the way. Welcome back to my channel. Skilled weirdo. Bad art. I love it. Let's just get weird. Let's just get crazy. And I think that was the same with Picasso as well. When you see a lot of his early work, it's very skilled, it's very well done. And same with Salvador Dali, honestly. You can tell throughout his entire life that it was skilled and well done, but it's just he took more inspiration from dreams and subconscious than from things that normal people see. He did take a lot of landscape, such as the hills and the skies and like the pebbles on beaches in Spain where he lived. But with Picasso, you can see in his early life, he did some self-portraits that that were really well done. And then I'm just thinking of a meme where it showed like his progression of self-portraits, like as his, you could say his skills were, well, I'm not going to say that. Okay. So he, as his self-portraits progressed throughout his life and his style increased, there was a meme that said he has not aged well, and I just think that's hilarious. This almost kind of looks like a bird. But yeah, you can always be building your skill and your style. Sometimes, and this is with everything as well. I'm not doing these videos strictly for artists. It just so happens that I love art. But with anything that you're doing, this right here is very helpful because it gets you out of your head. It gets you into this, like, it gets your brain into this like loosey-goosey kind of a liminal space. It gets you into that surreal, subconscious, like lower brainwave states that can open up your mind and get your neural pathways to connect in different ways that are not so obvious and not so linear. Let's draw something linear. Yeah, ooh. Okay. What is going on here? And so you see what I mean? Like something occurs to me and I'm just going to experiment with it. This is good for your entire life. This is good for every aspect of your life. What you practice on here is simply practice, and you'll see that it bleeds out into regular life in such interesting ways, whether or not you are practicing art. You could be practicing, well, it doesn't really matter. You experiment on here and you get, I don't know, there's just so much. I just want to really explain to people that when you do something in one area of your life, it branches out into all the other areas. If you're going to improve yourself, that is such a worthy thing to do in even just one area, because you improve everything. It starts to bleed out into other areas. You cannot compartmentalize your life as much. I mean, I suppose with practice you can, but why would you want to? Especially if you're working with improvement. And by doing like weird, like experimental things on here, all you're doing is exploring your own self. You're not doing what I'm doing. Even if you're doing what I'm doing and following along with what I'm doing and trying to do the same exact things, you're still not doing the same exact thing that I'm doing. You have your own style and your own voice and your own flair. And that's what makes you so important. It is so important for you to find your own style and flair and way of doing things, which branches out into other areas of your life so that you show up in the world exactly as yourself. Self-actualization, authenticity, individuation, it's so important and so good for you and so good for the world and the collective consciousness. So what better way to practice than on paper, where you can just buy like a cheap booklet, like sketch pad, and just start drawing. Just start, like, who cares what it looks like? You're not doing it for judging. Like, I always say, what we're doing here, we're not judging. We're, not everything in life needs to be judged. We're being curious. We're being open. We're having fun. We are enjoying the process. And we're seeing what comes out of it. And we're relaxing. And we're cracking ourselves up. And we're looking inside ourselves. And we're not trying. We're not trying to do anything. All we're doing is taking up space on the paper. That's it. All you're doing is finding out what's interesting to you. What do you want it to look like? And even if you do start out because it's, I don't want to say that it's difficult to start out with a blank piece of paper, but so many people, that's not quite the right words for it, but so many people have experienced that exact feeling of coming to a blank piece of paper and thinking, I have nothing. I don't want you to do that anymore. I want you to come to a blank piece of paper and say, what do I have? This paper wants to be used. It wants something on it. How is it going to speak through me to get it on here? The ancient Greeks, we used to say that a genius is something that inhabits you. The term genius wasn't applied to individual people until like the Renaissance ages, where we started calling people a genius. A genius was like some creature that like lived in a wall and inhabited somebody, somewhat the same as a muse. And I think that believing that things come from you is so, it's not easy on your mind. Not the things that have to be easy on your mind. You have to do hard things sometimes, but it's not helpful for you. It's kind of a hindrance. So think of it more as you are channeling. And again, this is the same with many areas of your life. You are channeling things. Things are working through you. You are a spirit in a body on earth, and energy is coming through you. And when you create, whether it's food or music or poetry or a house or something on paper. It's so good for you to exercise that channeling, that spirit, that whatever wants to come through you, or ideas, even creating ideas. It's just so exciting to think about it, to think, well, there's something that wants to channel me. There's something that wants to use me. What does it want? Let me see, let me start writing, let me start creating and doodling, and even just the act of creating and doodling, that may not be what that thing wants to channel through you, but this will help loosen up your brain and get out of your head and get out of, oh, I have to pay my bills, oh, I have to do this, oh, I have to do this, oh, I have to do this. This gets you into the more exciting parts of life, because your life is not work. Your life is not what somebody else tells you to do. Your life is creation. We are all creative. We may not be skilled. We may not be, I've heard so many people say I'm not a good artist. Well, that doesn't matter. You are creation just because you exist. Just because you have been created, you are creation and a creator. It's exciting to think about that. I really love shapes. I really love, and I normally work with like really rounded shapes. So I'm excited to do something with these angular shapes later. Again, it's all about experimentation and finding out what you I don't know. Just finding out. Being curious, being creative. Expressing. Ooh, I like what's happening here. Beautiful. It just makes my soul sing. Even drawing these goofy things, that's why I call it bad art, because I'm not trying to make anything beautiful, but I can't help it. You just can't help it. When you be free in your expression, you just can't help it. And it may not appeal to everyone, but it's exciting to you, and that's what matters. Because otherwise, why would you do it? If you're not excited with the way something's going, change it. If you're following along and doing what I'm doing and you don't like this, do something else. Do something that makes your heart sing, and find out what that is. Because when you find that feeling in here, it's gonna spread to other areas of your life. If you are an artist who wants to get more skilled with drawing, it's so easy to learn. There are so many things on YouTube University that you can look up. There are drawing books. There's so much. I might even, I don't know. I always have this imposter syndrome where I'm thinking like, oh, I don't really know enough to teach anybody. I can teach creativity though, because I feel it. I feel this like desire to express myself, and I want other people to do it too. You know, when you see too many people looking like other people and you think, well, who are you though? You're not everyone else. And most people, I feel, are not awake enough to think, well, what do I want to wear? Well, what do I want to look like? What do I want to draw? What art do I want in my home? What do I want with my life? I'm experiencing this like desire to, or not a desire to, I'm experiencing judgment, and I'm thinking I'm kind of stuck because I don't know exactly what to do. And I'm worried about making it look good, but I forget that we're not judging here, we're experimenting. We are practicing channeling what the paper wants to look like. And if the paper wants to look like something weird that we wouldn't naturally put there, well, no judgment, that's just what the paper wants. And what the paper wants, the paper gets, baby. And so I think when you feel that kind of judgment and uncertainty and kind of a lack of flow, it's good to recognize that and say, okay, that's what I'm experiencing. How do I get back into it? And for me, I think when I start to do that, I go work in a different area. I maybe make something more detailed or change a detail about something, because this is alive and morphing and constantly changing. And it's changing as it reveals itself. that's pretty cool. I really like the juxtaposition between the sharp lines and the rounded ones. I normally just like to play with the rounded lines and the bulbous formations, but this is pretty cool. And I wouldn't have known that. If I hadn't gotten a little, I don't know, it's like creative zoomies. It feels like zoomy, like I want to try this, so I'm just gonna go ahead and go crazy and do it. And who cares, because this is intentionally bad art. This isn't good art, this is bad art. And bad art is so fun. Excuse me. And as you're doing this, simply, the only goal for me really is to fill the page to my satisfaction. I don't know. I just keep going. I just keep working on it. It's just fun. This kind of looks like a fried egg. And as I'm saying these things, I recognize that it is like sort of judgments on it. It's just like, I mean, it's not judgment whether it's good or bad. I think that's probably what I'm talking about. I mean, my judgments are, oh, this is cool, this is interesting, I want to keep exploring it, rather than this is good or bad. so I should stop doing it, or maybe I should pursue it because it's the only thing I'm good at. I think that's the distinction that I want to be making here, because the judgments that I'm making on this is simply like, let me keep going. Let me dive into it. Oh, this is cool. This is interesting. This is fun. Oh, this looks like this, you know? It's just like, it continues to open the mind rather than box things up. And that's, I think, what I'm trying to say. Is that if it's engaging to you, if it's fun to you, keep going with it. And if it's not, first of all, if it's good or bad, if you're starting to ask yourself whether it's good or bad, stop. Because it's bad. We're specifically making bad art. That's the whole point. I want you to make bad art. So, and I just realized why I keep insisting that it's bad art, because when you immediately just label it bad, it's bad art, it's gonna be bad, no one wants to look at it, nobody cares about it, that gets all of that out of the way immediately. There's no pressure after that. It's terrible art. It's gonna suck. Nobody wants to look at it. But it's exciting for you and it's fun for you. And it might not actually be bad art. It might actually not be something that people don't want to look at. I want to look at it. I'm excited to, like, when people start watching these videos, I'm really excited to see what people start to do. And I want your bad art pictures because I think it's fun and exciting. And I think, like, I mean, even if you're drawing people, like if you're drawing stick figures or something, if it's engaging to you and your subconscious, that's what I want to see. I love it. Yeah, I keep making the distinction that this is bad art because I want you to stop judging it before you even get into it. I want you to just never... I want you to stop not doing things because you're already judging yourself. If you think that you want to do something, but you're afraid to do it because you think you're going to be bad at it, that's so limiting. But I think that's what so many people do. That's what I do. That's why I put off doing these YouTube videos for so long. Because I thought, well, who is going to want to watch it? But you know what? I'm going to put it out there because there is somebody who wants to watch this. There are people who need to hear what I'm saying. I need to hear what I'm saying. I need to listen to what I'm saying and do it. Hence, bad art, baby. We're just gonna do it. 2024 is the year of... we're going to say, who cares? And go after it. And we're gonna say, whatever is worth doing badly until you can do it really well. Because otherwise, what are you going to do? Just not do it? All right. I think I have my page pretty much filled out. And I hit that flow state where I'm getting really quiet now. I'm going to render this some more. And I will show it, the finished product, in tomorrow's YouTube video. Good evening, folks. I hope that everyone has a wonderful new year. I hope that everyone's New Year's resolution is to go out into the world and whatever they've been desiring to do, I hope that they choose to do it, whether it's bad or good. Because if you started out and you're bad, but you keep doing it, you will get good. Don't be afraid anymore. I love you all.